Hello, Team One. Hello, Paul, Krista, Angela, and Jonathan. So, I want to start by saying great work. I'm just so impressed with your process and your project. So, I hope that you feel good about what you did. And now I'm going to go into some feedback. You listened to Don's feedback. You heard that Don himself is very excited. He immediately made the leap from your mascot idea to the Olympic mascot. So, he's already building off of it. You've already inspired his imagination. I've made my own comments both on your recommendation and on your process. So I want to give that to you. So hopefully it might provide you with some further insight as you head into the assignment number two. So I thought your problem statement around brand awareness was strong and focused. And we saw that Don also felt that way. That he really liked the degree of concreteness in it. And I know this was a discussion within your team. The center of the universe is closed. You weren't taking on everything. How do you know where to focus? And clearly, you found a good focus that really resonated. I thought your BHAG was fantastic. It was, what you did really. Yeah, Mike became unplugged. So what you did really well here was you showed divergence because your idea was original. TripAdvisor was not. You couldn't have come up with that without an active imagination, and you also showed great convergence in that you made hard choices. You didn't talk about everything that you found in your research. So great job on that. I thought your rationale was really strong as well in terms of why you came to this decision. Good job focusing on the importance of families and children, and job grounding that back in the research. Um, my one question here is, okay, so why is this more important than other directions? Like, why did you choose going for marketing over the internet over, for example, just as a random example, fixing aspects of the center itself? So, question. I was curious. I know John, the mascot really resonated for Don. My question, though, because I made my comments before I met with him. So my question was, what is it, the mascot or is it the YouTube videos? That there seemed to be two things together there, and I couldn't figure out which was more important. In the sense that if you had amazing YouTube videos and no mascot, would your recommendation work just as well? So from your evidence around the mascot, you gave evidence that a research quote that studies have shown mascots are the most relevant brand signs in the children's segment. But for me, I didn't get why having the mascot as opposed to just having the videos were so important. Of course, it did help when Don made that leap to the Olympics. That I found helpful in understanding how a mascot might operate. I also thought of the children's show Blue's Clues, where there's the important thing is the show. The For those of you who might have seen it, the facilitator Steve, who runs the show, but then he has this little mascot, a dog named Blue. That's what I came to think of. I thought the focus on teachers. I thought teachers would really use that. I thought that was a strong focus as well. So, Don, so in terms of the mascot itself, the actual mascot, he saw a point where you could further develop that idea so that it's not doesn't draw on stereotypes. I mentioned a website. If you sort of Google drawings kids before and after meeting scientists, there's a whole site dedicated to busting kids stereotypes about scientists. So that is a good possible thing for you to think about as you continue to hone your recommendation. When I actually met with Don half an hour later to talk about Team Two's recommendation, he had already brainstormed with his girlfriend a whole bunch of ideas for mascots. So clearly, you really captured his imagination there. Now, moving down, when I look at your process, so I just made a few comments in the margins. When you talk about why you used your tools in your third slide, I thought it was really great that you tied this into the Rossiter article on brainstorming. So clearly, you weren't just following class directions; you were actually assimilating and making links yourself. You weren't following things by rote, which I was really am really impressed by. Um, Also, when on slide 5, I made the comment that the fact you seem to have paid a lot of attention both to the process. You seem to be doing the meta work of thinking about process while also doing the work of being in the process. So when I look at your Linout canvas, I see that you've posted the CPS diagram. You've also posted the instructions for convergence and other things as well. And this to me is ideal, being able to be doing that dual thinking, learning about the process while also being in the process. I was curious when I came across your visuals, which are fantastic, where you really did fantastic research going deep into trying to empathize with Don's perspective. But then what I found interesting is, in fact, your idea. You could have come to it through researching just marketing, right? That it doesn't necessarily emerge from a deep understanding of those who love astronomy, and and so this is in no way a critique. This is a point for you to think about in your next paper. So what do you think this deep research gave you? Right? What or if anything, right? You went so deep into understanding astronomers and astrophysicists and Don, and you put these amazing images. And then how did that inform your process, given especially that you came to the mascot is that seems to come out of research on the value of the internet, on the value of TripAdvisor. So that seems to come out of a different body of research. So, and of course, you can't foresee which body of research will lead you to the brilliant solution. And so, I'd just be curious about what, in retrospect, your experience of going deep into the whole astronomy side, what that left you with. I'm just scrolling through to see. And so I wrote when I saw after slide 9, this team did an exceptional job of assessing the situation and what was the impact on your process, which I already commented on. What did you get from the webbing exercise? So it seems that you ended up focusing. There's one sticky on the right-hand side that says the center of the universe needs to find more relevant ways to connect with visitors. And it seems like that was the direction you went in. And I'm wondering if the actual webbing exercise helped you focus on that direction. I'm really impressed. When I got to slide 12, I commented, I'm really, really impressed at the iterative work you did. And I commented on this in Linout, how you did circle back to clarification. Other teams might not have done that. They might have said that's more work and we don't have time to do more work. I am sure that the people on your team are no less busy than the people on other teams. So what was it that happened in your team that enabled this flexibility and this intrinsic motivation? So this will repeat some things I've already said, but I wrote here, the thoroughness of your process is really exceptional. I will be curious to read in assignment number 2 about 1, how your team managed to be cohesive enough to achieve this, and 2, what impact you believe this thoroughness had. Okay, so I'm repeating myself. When I looked through your ideas, it seemed that you were combining some of your ideas in your final in your final recommendation, that in fact it wasn't pure mascot, it was mascot combined with some sort of virtual something, and that's fine. It was just noticed, and the way you went through from 6 to 4 and narrowed down your ideas was fantastic. So those are my comments. They're mostly positive, so I would urge you as you move forward to really think deeply about precisely what would explain your success. So everybody had the same textbook, everybody had the same opportunity. Some people, this experience did not seem to unfold as smoothly and as vibrantly. So what exactly was going on in the combination of personalities on your team, the way you work together, the way you set up your process? Because the goal here is that if you're going to want to replicate this in future, you want to know what went right. And it's very likely that you won't have, that you'll be facing, this seems to have gone exceptionally well from an outsider. I would also urge you to not, to be critical of my own, of my comments, because there might be a lot of things that were actually quite difficult and frustrating that I'm not seeing just as an outsider looking in. So please reflect on those as well, because that's where important learning comes out. In all, team, amazing work. Please let me know if you have questions.